In order to proceed with Bindbee Embed, first of all, we will need to add the organization details. Now that can be done by going to the settings, and the organization settings there, we can upload our own brand logo here, and the favicon icon for it, and the custom brand color for it, and click on the Save Changes. Here you can see the preview for how your connector would look like. So next we need to get the API key, for which you can go to the API key section here, where you can regenerate the API key, and you can get the API key from here. Now copy and save this API key safely in your local machine. Now in order to proceed with the Bindbee Embed, we need to go to the documentation. This is a 4-step process. First, we will generate the link token, then we will use Embed in your front-end project using the React SDK. Third step would be to retrieve the temporary token upon a successful integration. Finally, we will use that temporary token to get a connector token, which will authenticate your requests for the unified APIs. So first of all, we need to generate the link token. Now the base URL to get the link token is this. Use this in order to make a post request and get the link token. Now this request will require certain payload and the API key, which was fetched earlier. So here's the payload. The end user data should include the organization name, which will be specific to your organization. The origin ID should be random, but unique in order to indicate that it's your organization. Category should be either HRIS or ATS, according to the product you want to integrate with. Integration is basically the name of the integration you want to connect with, which you can get from the documentation page here. So let's say if you want to connect with Hi Bob, then the category would be HRIS, and the integration name would be this. Now in order to proceed with this, create a function handleConnect, which will be called upon clicking a button. Now this will generate a link token, which has to be used in the SDK. Now in order to install the React SDK of Bindbee, go to the second step of documentation, copy this command and run it in your project terminal. This will install the Bindbee React SDK in your project. Now we need to define certain functions here, which will be basically onSuccess and onClose. The handle onSuccess function, which will be called after the integration, has been successfully established as a part of Step 3. This will take the temporary token as input. Now use this temporary token in order to create a connector token. The base URL, in order to fetch the connector token, is in the Step 4 of the documentation. For the Step 4, use this URL in order to create the connector token from the temporary token. Make this a GET request and use the API key that was fetched earlier, and this will result in the connector token. For onClose, it should basically be a function which should gracefully handle the exit procedure in case if the person clicks on the close button of the integration card. Start the project. To demonstrate, if one wants to integrate with Bamboo HR here, simply click on the Connect button, which will call the handleConnect function internally to fetch the link token of Step 1. And SDK function will be triggered, which will open the connector card. Click on Allow and Continue. Now this will prompt us for the Bamboo HR subdomain. Enter the credentials and click on Connect. As you can see that the connection has been successfully established,